What's up, you guys, and welcome to another episode of Primos Chidos. I am your host, Jules, and of course, I am here with Steve and Brandon. Say what's up, you guys,
What's
What's
up?
up?
and happy spooky season. We have some things on the table for the spooky season.
I'm in the spirit, bro. I'm in the spirit.
We're in a
Spirit
spirit
Halloween, you might
Halloween.
Spirit
say.
Halloween.
You see that little name drop there?
Is
You like
Halloween your
that?
favorite holiday?
Yeah, it is. I think so.
why do you like it so much, then?
Because I get to take out my real mask and put on my real and put on who I really am. Now, I
What
don't know.
what is it? What
When
is?
I was a kid,
Mhm,
I really liked the idea of like dressing up and like I don't know
Yeah.
playing pretend,
mhm.
like and everybody accepts that you're playing pretend,
Mhm.
and also the candy, bro. That's
Yeah.
where like you and me have always fucked with Reese's like super
Yeah.
heavy.
Uh-huh.
So
So
I
those are the big reasons why you like Halloween so much.
you
Is
guys
that
don't fuck with Halloween?
No, I'm just asking
no?
because there's people who don't fuck with
Well, you're
Halloween,
dressed
bro.
up, so like
I feel like
obviously you really
I
like
feel
it.
like people
so.
who don't fuck with Halloween like are usually like religious reasons, no? Like do people not dress up for Halloween because they just don't like it?
don't
Yeah, I
know.
think some people don't, right?
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, what's there not to like?
I guess some people are. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, what's there not to like? That's
I
an
don't know.
Oh, but okay. Well, yeah, I'm dressed up. I'm glad you mentioned that.
Who are you?
Who do you guys think I am?
Brian May from Queen?
No. I feel like it's obvious.
who do y'all
I
think
actually
Stevie
don't.
is?
Yeah, who do you guys think Steve is? Anyone in the chat?
Bro, it's obvious.
wait.
If I go like that, will it make more sense? It's because you see, I needed a marker to draw the
Mm.
little pentagon, the little pentagram on my hand.
Are you what's his face's name?
I'm Richard Ramirez.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
You're
Wait,
Richard Ramirez?
Yes.
he
You
didn't
can't tell.
he didn't have long hair, did he?
No, I couldn't tell.
Wow.
You're Richard Ramirez?
Yeah, you've never seen a picture of Richard Ramirez? You had to have seen a picture of
No,
him.
I actually don't think I've ever seen that picture.
Oh, where he has a pentagram on his hand.
No,
right?
yeah, so I wouldn't have gotten it.
Oh
Wow.
my god.
I told you, I knew it.
But you know who he is.
I
Well,
know
yeah,
who
we
Richard
know.
Ramirez is, but like, I don't think he
Would you have
looked.
gotten it if I had the pentagram on my hand?
Maybe, yeah. I would have probably thought you were like Charles Manson, though.
Edward Scissorhands? That's a good guess.
There you go. You're Edward Scissorhands.
No,
man.
I dressed up for the occasion because not only is it spooky season, but also one of the topics that we're going to talk about is the Stockton serial killer. So I was like, bro, like this is like the best of both worlds. Why is this offensive?
I don't think it's offensive. I just you dressed up as Richard Ramirez. That's really
Yeah.
funny.
It's because there's not a lot of like Latino, like Mexican people. I
Well,
can dress
So,
up.
No, wait,
so when
wait.
I asked you the first time when I was like we were in the living room and I was like, is he brown?
Yeah, that's the first thing she asked me. She's like, is your costume like, is he brown? Like, is he like obviously like
Yeah.
like a descent of
And
indigenous?
then he's like, I can't believe you said that. And that's when I was like, okay, then I guess my guess was wrong, but my guess was technically right.
You see, I wanted to lead her off the
Pull
trail.
up the picture that he's talking about. 'cause
Literally,
I
just
really,
look up Richard Ramirez costume
Okay.
there, and
I
I
don't-
guarantee you
I
it'll
don't-
look like
I
this.
Wait,
don't
hold on.
know.
That's not how you spell it.
Well, yeah, because I was like, I can't be Namor. I feel like Namor would have been good, but there's no costumes out yet, and I'm also not ripped
Ramirez,
like
what?
like
you
that.
said
You know?
costume?
Yeah, costume. Yeah. Bro, look.
I'm dead. But when does he wear this though? Like,
It's just like whenever they show him in media, like American Horror Story, and or like they make like movies about him. That's usually the fit he sports in the movies, because that's what
interesting.
people said that's what he wear. That and like an ACDC hat, but I don't have any ACDC
So
hats.
you're him.
You're like this.
That's
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's because I think
It's
the
because I
hair was
have
too long.
facial hair.
Oh,
Yeah,
maybe,
you have
yeah.
facial hair, and I feel like the hair doesn't.
Bro, what are you? A
I'm
Dodger
not-
player?
I mean,
He's a
I
Dodger
guess. No, I'm a supporter
Of Brown Media.
That's
Who
who I
likes to go to
am.
Dodger games?
That's who I am.
Okay. And Julie, what are you?
I'm Jack Skellington, bro.
Let me see the costume.
Look.
Yeah, you see these makeshift costumes? They didn't work out.
Well, mine's not even a costume, really. I
Mine isn't either. I just wanted to wear it. I have like
Wow,
skull shirts.
you guys just singled me out.
feel like if
We didn't
if-
know you were gonna dress up.
Well, I feel like if it wasn't for
You
the
guys have
wig,
no fucking.
If it-
Stevie is. I mean, you're the one who loves the holiday, so like it makes sense that you get more dressed up than us.
No.
if it wasn't for the wig, I really would have thought you were just like, oh, I guess he's dressing up today.
This
supposed
is
to
my
look-
regular fit.
Yeah, I thought you were
So
like,
so Chris 17181 said Edward Scissorhands and Israel Fu said
Ain't
no
no
way.
Is this offensive? I don't think
I don't
it
know.
is. Because I mean, people have Jeffrey Dahmer, everybody's like thirsty.
I feel like
after that
everyone's
guy.
gonna dress up.
Okay,
as
okay. Then disclaimer: I don't fuck with Richard Ramirez. He's a fucking asshole. He's a piece of shit. He's probably like burning in hell somewhere, right?
So you're not dressed up as Richard Ramirez in like a specific movie. You're just dressed up as Richard Ramirez.
Yeah. Well, and I'm dressed as Richard Ramirez from American Horror Story. There.
Oh,
Yeah, in American Horror Story, this is the fit he
Got
wears.
it.
he comes out in American Horror Story.
Yeah, he gets reincarnated because you know how you believe in Satan. Like Satan actually grants him their wish, and he's like a demon with like devil powers. Yeah. So
Nah, I don't think that's offensive. American Horror Story can do it. Why not you?
Yeah, right. So I mean, it's fine. But
Right.
yeah, okay. So the reason I dressed up is because the first thing I want to talk about is the Stockton serial killers. What do you guys think about that?
So,
Should I give a little info?
yeah, give me a little backstory.
So who is this guy?
Okay. Local authorities in Stockton, California, strongly believe that they have a serial killer on the loose. Thus far, the police have secured a fair amount of leads, ruling out gang activity in the process, and while also determining that the assailant does not target his victims based on race or age. Instead, he tends to stalk men who are walking alone at night before going in for the kill, and they censored this. I don't know what it means. Them down. What do you think this means?
Is it an R?
G? No, it's G. It's G censored NNING. Kill and
And what's the next word?
them down.
Gunning them down.
Oh, okay. I just didn't think they would censor gunning. Okay, killing and gunning them down. There's a growing belief that these murders began back in 2021, with the most recent slaying last Tuesday. Overall, 6 murders have been tied to the Stockton serial killer. Although many of his victims were slain in Stockton, the killer has also been linked to murders in Oakland and San Francisco. A quote from the chief said, "We have a series of homicides that we believe are interconnected. By definition, you could probably very well call this serial killings." So that's coming straight from the horse's mouth.
How many confirmed kills?
I think as of right now, 6.
Because those are the ones that are all in like the same area, right?
Yeah, it's just like whatever they found as evidence links them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So that's what it mainly is.
But then they said he's also linked to some in San Francisco and Oakland.
Yeah, he's most likely moved on, like from Stockton to Oakland to San Francisco. It seems as though he's moving north. Right now, he's staying his like circle of path.
He's heading north.
Yeah, his path of destruction seems to be in the Bay Area.
Damn.
Yeah, which I find it interesting, just because like I have a homie, as some of you have watched the show for a while. He's come on the show a few times. He left to college in San Francisco, and I just thought, like, what are the odds that the people he's mainly targeted are men who walk alone at night? Also, and not mentioned in this article, even though it said there's no like direct confirmation that he goes based on race or age. There's reports that saying that that's just kind of like not to panic, make people panic, but that like there's just at least a consistency with his victims being Latino or Hispanic men.
So where did you find
which
that?
My homie Patrick fits the description. Citizen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Citizen told me that one.
Interesting.
Yeah, so the app Citizen. So that's coming. That's their source. If they're wrong,
scary.
That's on them.
Carry pepper spray.
I wonder. Yeah, I was gonna say that. I was like, yeah, I guess y'all need to start carrying pepper spray. But I was gonna say, I wonder like what his, like, you know how there's always kind of like a story as to like how they kind of like become this. I wonder what his story is.
Or what his origin story is.
Like what happened to him? Because I mean, kind of like, I don't know if you guys ever saw, what is it called? Like Mindhunters, the show on Netflix, where they kind of go into like, they kind of all went through some sort of trauma, like big trauma that kind of like, it was huge. Like it's
what's the name of the big guy? The biggest guy who was there?
Ed Kemper?
Yeah, he's talked about how his mom like always talked down on him. He was like, he's a piece of shit. Like he's nothing.
Bro, it's crazy what he did to her though.
He like chopped off her head and like fucked it. No.
Yeah.
Like he continuously fuck her head. And he was a smart guy. No, he knew that what he was doing was wrong, right?
He's like really smart.
Yeah. So it's kind of like that. Like I wonder what his story kind of is as to like why he's kind of like doing it.
Well, I mean, going based off Mindhunter, right? Like really good show. And it shows you right there that most of the time serial killers kill people who are kind of like their own people. Richard Ramirez, like he killed a lot of like Mexican, Hispanic people. Obviously, there were outliers. He didn't just kill Hispanic, Latino people. But there's something like internally that I guess like you have easier access to, I guess, people who are your race or like something. Like for some reason, serial killers always kind of kill whatever they are.
Mhm.
So that would indicate that he's like a Latino serial killer.
Mhm.
So I don't know, pretty timely costume if you ask me. Like I kind of give myself a pat on the back.
Bruh. Chris said when I first logged on, I thought Steve was just trying a new hairstyle.
All of a sudden, like my hair just got like super long.
Yeah, bro. You curled it today.
So what do you guys think? Should I keep it this long?
Yeah,
Yeah.
do it.
I curled it. It's not even that long. Nah, I feel like I didn't like when. Well, it's not that I didn't like, but when I had long hair, like during the pandemic, it was a bit too much. You know.
Yeah.
Too much upkeep.
What do you? So then, what do you guys think about this?
You said you went on a walk yesterday, no?
Yeah, well, I go on walks a lot because it's fun.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I went on a
Must
walk
be
late at
nice.
night, and I was.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I went on a
Well,
walk.
it can't be nice anymore, Julian.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
guess.
I was alone.
I
I'm a
was-
male. I was.
You were fearing for your life.
Yeah. Nah, I didn't think he was gonna.
But
pop
you said
out,
you were
but
thinking about it, no? When you
Yeah, I
were
was thinking
walking?
about it. I was like, man, like, because I always listen to music and
Mhm.
you can't
Did
hear
you
it.
fade
But you do it at night, like late at night.
Well, I've only been doing it late at night because like it's been hot.
Uh-huh.
Because like
Yeah. Yeah.
maybe when it gets cooler, I'll go out during the day. But like I don't know, I think it's a little fun.
Mm.
But do you think it
Interesting.
was just the like weed paranoia that was making you think of the serial killer?
Nah.
Well, I mean, also like Richard Ramirez would like break into people's houses because it was hot, no? And people had their windows open.
Oh,
Well, to
yeah.
preface this, I wasn't thinking about him, and I was like scared, like, oh, I should be home because I walked for like 2 hours.
Mhm.
It was more like, what would I do in that situation? You know?
Mm.
Mhm.
What does this guy use? He uses like a gun, right?
Yeah, and most of the kills, it's been point blank shot to the head.
Well, there you go.
He's not a blunt guy.
Damn.
He's like, if he wants you, it's like it's
Ew.
over, you know.
Yeah, that's why it's like when,
That's scary.
at that
Well,
point.
that's why,
really
like,
scary.
I was thinking of Mindhunter, right? Because like you were saying, like
Mhm.
from the show makes it seem as though a lot of them, even the way they commit crimes, is kind of like similar to whatever
Yeah.
trauma they went
Yeah,
through in their
yeah.
life. And this guy just shoots guys point blank.
Yeah.
Like, what
I
does
guess
that
maybe he
say about his
just-
psychology?
Yeah. I don't know. That is interesting because it is like for the most part the reason you're doing certain things like how a lot of people get raped and all that
Mhm.
stuff
Yeah.
is because they were probably violated themselves.
Mhm.
But to him to just like shoot people, I don't know.
No, yeah.
Well, because
I was like, I
yeah.
was thinking about like when I was walking, since I was walking through the streets, I was seeing like plastic bags everywhere, and I was thinking about American Beauty, and then I was thinking of the ending of American Beauty. You know how
oh,
like,
where he gets
he
shot
gets point
behind
blank in the
head.
back, and I was like, yeah, it'd probably be like that, right?
You wouldn't even know it
Damn.
I
happened.
wouldn't know because I'm listening to music.
Damn.
I was listening to music. I was like, I wouldn't hear a goddamn thing.
Do you find that more peaceful than being scared at the end?
I guess.
Let's
Something
let's say a
like that.
timeline where you have to die. Would you rather see it coming, like Breaking Bad, when Gale when he
Yeah.
sees it, and would you rather be in front of it or not notice it as you're walking forward?
I don't know. I guess not notice it.
Not notice it.
Well, because then it's over for
It's just like the Sopranos ending.
yeah.
It just kind of ends. Speaking of movies, No Country for Old Men. You know how Anton Chigurh, the main villain in that guy,
Yeah.
he kills people with like
It's
point
a,
blank.
It's a cattle brawn because
Yeah.
and what do you call it? A cattle.
I don't know, like it's
The-
whatever they use to kill cattle in like farms and
Mhm.
stuff.
Yeah.
So it's this really strong like needle that they put at the forehead, and it kills anything basically instantly.
It's like a little air pressure gun. It just shoots
Oh,
out
yeah,
like
yeah,
a
yeah.
thing. And
But it's basically explained in the book and in the movie that the reason why he does that is because he kind of sees people as like animals.
it's like cattle. Like
Yeah.
there's-
Mm.
yeah.
So I wonder if that directly correlates to like the Stockton
Mm.
serial killer. Like, does he see people as animals? And if
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
the case, what like caused him in his life to kind of feel that way? Because
Isn't that the difference? Correct me if I'm wrong. Between a psychopath and a sociopath, aren't psychopaths the ones that are like Anton Chigurh, that like they don't feel anything? They're just like
Mhm.
Mhm.
like kind
And
of like that. But
sociopaths are
sociopaths, I think, feel sorry. Like they feel.
oh really?
I think Jeffrey Dahmer was a sociopath because they feel guilt for what they did. Right?
Mhm. Yeah.
No?
I don't know. I'm not too
Yeah.
sure if I'm honest.
I thought
Yeah.
this is you explaining.
No, I feel like I've heard that.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Mhm.
I hope I'm not wrong. But I
No,
think that's the
don't know.
differentiate. Because
Yeah.
like maybe
Is it
this
that
guy's
one?
just a
Is it
psycho.
that yeah? Because one of them can kind of like pretend that they're feeling a certain way, but they don't actually feel those
Yeah, it's
feelings,
like manipulative.
Yeah.
Because like if it's like point blank, right? This guy could be just a psychopath, right? I
Mhm.
think that's the difference. Let me just Google it.
right?
Mhm. Okay.
But continue.
But I feel like I have heard that where it's kind of like I just don't know which one it is. What is it? Psychopath,
Psychopath and
and
sociopath.
sociopath.
No, I was gonna say that like if the case is that he sees people as kind of like animals and like cattle, what fascinates me is that he's a modern serial killer, right? In the past, I literally saw a video of like why there's not a lot of serial killers anymore, and then
Same.
what
I
what
saw
are the
one too on
odds?
TikTok.
Yeah, right. And
Yeah.
it's about how like there's a plethora of like reasons,
Yeah.
right? Like
Mhm.
more surveillance, like
Have you heard the lead theory?
yeah. That I was gonna
Yeah,
say that was one
yeah.
of them.
What is
That
it?
so what it is that like there was a lot more lead in the systems back in the day, like in the 60s and 70s,
Mhm.
and we've since replaced that. So it kind of shows you that when humans aren't meant to consume lead. It's really
Mhm.
bad for your
Yeah,
brain.
yeah.
It basically fucks up your nervous system.
Mhm.
So it kind of was like, oh, maybe that's why like there was like a huge rise in serial killers.
Mhm.
You know, it's crazy. We even talked about this like 2 weeks on the show, right? Like in the 70s, there was like a huge rise in serial killers.
Mhm.
But anyways, what I find fascinating is the ability that this guy is like killing people now with this much surveillance. But also, I wonder what he thinks of like people, because in the pandemic, right? We were all closed in, like we weren't around anyone.
Yeah.
Like it felt really easy to dissociate. I
Mhm.
think a lot of people have that common like thread of during the pandemic, they felt kind of distant from the rest of society. They felt
Mhm.
very like
Yeah.
alienated. And I wonder if that's why he's kind of just shooting people point blank, because he's kind of felt that dissociation from the pandemic. I mean,
Mm.
that's like a huge fucking
Yeah,
theory,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
You know what's interesting? I have no clue. I have no clue what this guy's doing.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's my opinion. But I was thinking about that guy on YouTube, Doctor Grande, the guy who's
Yeah.
like
He
a
examines people,
psychiatrist.
right?
He examines people. I wonder
What
what
he'd
he'd
say?
make of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That guy's interesting. You guys should check him out because he breaks down like
Is he the one that we saw when he did like the Will Smith one? The
Yeah.
yeah,
slap?
where he kind of breaks it down
Like
like
why
on
he
a
kind of did it?
psychological
Yeah,
level,
yeah.
maybe, and he just
This is
hypothesizes
yeah.
using his expertise.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, because I'm a big fan of him. And that's why I'm trying to think, like, what would he think, right?
Mhm.
And I'm thinking, like, okay, shooting people point blank. Obviously, he's not like a gore freak. He
Yeah.
doesn't like playing with this shit, right? He just wants to kill some people and dip.
Well, he said it says that he does, no? Doesn't he like?
I don't know. I really don't know that much about
What?
this.
I thought it said in the article
Which one?
that he like.
That he plays around with the guts?
Yeah.
No, it says right there. It says, gunning them down.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you add that all together, like, what is that?
So he just
That
kills.
well, because it
Just
separates him.
kills.
It separates him from like other serial killers.
So they
Mhm.
don't know what this guy looks like. They don't have any like
They
haven't
have one
released-
surveillance video.
Of
It's
what he
it's
looks
him
like?
in a hoodie and from behind. Apparently, he's like between 5'10" to 6 foot, like one. So he's a big guy. But they say he has a skinny frame.
So they do have like some idea
Yeah.
of who he might
Yeah.
be.
Yeah, there's witnesses who have like reports of what he looked like, and there's one surveillance video of him, of like was suspected to be him, just this really tall guy, like dressed completely in black in a
Mhm.
black hoodie. You can't see him, and he's just walking around this corner. That's it. That's all it is.
Well,
Mhm.
see, that's interesting. Like, I think we talked about it last week, or maybe the week before that, about how like when there's no motive, it's kind of really hard to find someone like a killer. Like when
Mhm.
there's no motive and they're kind of like decently smart about it and don't leave behind a lot, it's kind of hard because there's so many people.
Mhm.
That's I don't know. It's a little scary, right?
Spooky, bro. Spooky vibes. That's all I'm getting.
What do you
right
think
now.
it says about like Stockton? Because Stockton's really lonely. I mean, from the few things I've heard, like Stockton's
never
not,
been.
not like a big population. We had some like relatives who were from Stockton, and from whenever I'd hear from it, it's like I hear that a lot of the kids there get into trouble because there's nothing to do. You know,
Mm.
so it's that type of vibe in
Yeah.
Stockton. I mean, shout out to any Stocktonians who might be listening in, but from what I've heard, there's basically like nothing goes on there. So it seems like prime bed for serial killings, right? Like, and for a serial killer to
It's
rise.
just very lonely there.
Hope they catch the guy.
It's all
man.
land. I think.
Hope they catch this guy.
You're scared, bro? You think
No,
he's
but like
You think he traveled down?
can't just let that happen, you know.
Yeah.
Gotta catch this guy.
Julie? What did you bring?
Well, I mean,
for-
now I guess that they know, like they're on him. He'll
Yeah.
disappear, and then he'll come
Right,
back.
that's what I'm thinking. Cause like, if he might be smart, so
Yeah.
he could just like, all right, like it's getting too hot out there.
But it said that the first series of murders happened last year, 2021.
Oh, so
He's been around for more than a year now.
Wow.
Yeah. So he's pretty crafty. If he's probably killed more people than the confirmed cases. Yeah. But his most recent slaying that's directly connected to him was last Tuesday. So he's
Damn.
been active for a while. Yeah. I mean, I'm
And-
not trying to scare people like or anything. Oh, like of course, like Patty with the Fatty said, of course there's a killer up here when I start school. Bro, it's because it's like his next character arc, you know? It's the new season.
You should watch Zodiac to get a little scared.
I'm dead.
Or take notes, like see how they caught him.
Y'all should FaceTime him and like watch it together.
You know what he should do? Patty with the Fatty, here's a suggestion. You should go on a hunt, like, and try and find this guy. Because did you hear about the reward?
There's a reward.
Yeah,
for
there's a
him?
reward for him. Yeah, holy shit. Let me look this up. There's a reward for him. Yeah. Reward.
Who didn't you say your dad was trying to look for someone? Was it Richard Ramirez?
No, it was Manson.
Oh, Manson.
Either him or his goons. One of I forget which
Yeah.
one.
One day ago, reward in Stockton serial killer case grossed to 125K. 125,000. Enough to put a down payment
Would
on a
you
house.
guys ever consider being a bounty hunter? Like
and-
the bounty hunter?
A bounty hunter?
Yeah.
I feel like I'm not built for it. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like,
There's technology these days. You don't think so?
I think just some people are born for it.
What if you had a posse?
If I had a posse, that's different.
Yeah,
Like, if I had a posse. If my boys, my boys came through and we were like, let's get this money. And like, fuck it. If we're all down, I guess. No, I could do it. I could find the guy.
Really? Would you?
You know what he's
Could
saying,
do-
right?
A bounty hunter?
No.
Have you ever seen Dog the Bounty Hunter?
Dog?
Yeah,
No.
Dog. So bounty hunters do that, right? They'll
Mhm.
like investigate or catch people who have like a reward on them, and that's their. They
Mhm.
just do that.
I don't know.
Joey,
I if I was part of his posse, yeah.
I was
I'd
literally
help
about
him.
to say.
I have him. I'll
That's
help
what he's
him.
asking. He's
Yeah, yeah.
asking, let's go find
So-
the Stockton serial killer.
Bruh.
Hopefully, he doesn't come. to my house.
No,
Bro, I dare him to come find us.
Bruh.
I don't know
Don't
about
say
that.
that.
I'll be ready.
I don't know about
Don't say
that.
that, bro.
I'll be ready, bro. I want that 125K.
I don't know.
Patty with Fatty said, "This city's eating itself. Maybe it can't be saved, but I have to try."
Is that the Batman monologue?
Yeah, that's the one from the new Batman, bro. Exactly. Exactly. No, because I mean, bro, he just has a gun. Like, he's not gonna come here. He's not gonna come to LA. He's not touring here.
I don't know.
He's a babe tried and true.
He's
you
a
know?
Bay Area fool.
Yeah, he's for life, you know? Like, he's gonna stay up there. I doubt he's gonna be around.
Well,
here.
did it? Because Richard Ramirez went up, right? Or no? He never.
Yeah,
did?
remember he did. Yeah, we watched a documentary on him. He stayed mainly in like Northeast LA, and East LA, but he would go up to San Francisco. But that's when things were hot, when the cops were hot on his show, he would leave to San Francisco. But he would kill people up there. But it was mainly his like safe haven.
See, what if he
I
comes
don't
down
know,
here?
I would- if I was you, I wouldn't tempt fate. But that's just me.
Bro, I could handle
Stevie,
it.
you also fall into the victim
Bro, you're-
description.
Yeah, if you think about it, this is a little bit of a funny setup because you kind of like Squidward attracting the bear. You're like, oh come on, what's he gonna do? He's like dressed up as Richard Ramirez.
Right now, he's gonna come in through the fucking door.
That's a horribly inaccurate Richard Ramirez.
He's like, I met the guy. He was my uncle.
And I met the guy. Do you think serial killers like respect each other?
Didn't Manson famously talk shit about Bundy? But he
Manson
wasn't.
wasn't like a serial killer,
He was a
right?
cult
Mm.
leader. Okay, imagine yourself,
Bless you.
Brandon. Imagine you're a serial killer, right?
Yeah,
And then imagine my sister's a serial killer, right?
yeah.
You following me? Now imagine you've killed 200 people and my sister's killed 100 people.
Yeah.
Would you be jealous of my sister?
I've
But
killed-
put yourself in place. Put yourself in that place.
I mean, I guess, right? It depends because some serial killers are like that, right? Because wasn't Zodiac like that? He was like, man is the toughest prey.
Oh yeah.
So something. So like, probably I could see that they probably don't like each other.
I mean, yeah, it makes sense, right? If they're the quote unquote predators of humans, right? Like, because they have no problem killing other humans. It makes sense they wouldn't like each other, right? Predators don't like other predators, right? We went to the museum recently, fucking dinosaurs and shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what? He was blowing my mind. Like, I was super high while we were at the museum,
Mm-hmm.
and he was telling me like a bunch of dinosaur facts, and he was telling me about how like What's the long neck dinosaur?
Well, they're called sauropods. I was just telling him how there's like, it's been so long. I wonder if what
The science has cut up.
it probably has, but I
Mhm.
remember when I was younger that part of it was like, cause you know how they're drawn with their necks like that.
Yeah.
That they would talk about how like it's a bit of that it would give them a little bit of confusion because for the blood to fight gravity that high,
Mhm.
they need like an incredibly big heart or like two hearts or something
Mhm.
like that. So it's kind of like, you know,
On the
Yeah.
actual plaque, it says like they still don't know like how
How
it's
it
physically
yeah.
possible that he
Yeah.
I saw
exists.
the one where like I forgot what it was, a dinosaur, but the way that they used to actually like have them stand like on their
oh
on their
yeah, they
feet.
used to
They
stand.
used to
Oh,
stand up straight, and then
yeah.
they figured
Yeah.
out that they go the other way like that. And I thought that was interesting because
Yeah.
I kept thinking of you because I was like I feel like this is what Brandon used to always tell us about like we're also learning new things about them because like we're discovering a lot more things on them. And so instantly when I saw that, I was like, I feel like that's what Brandon is
No, yeah,
always trying to teach us.
they had that at the museum.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
we were talking about that.
They even had a picture. They had a picture of. They used to send them up like
Yeah, I saw it. Yeah,
Godzilla.
yeah. They used to stand like because their tail was like to the floor,
Yeah,
and
kinda
then
like
now they're just
they
like
used to
they're up.
almost walk like
Yeah.
people, but now they walk.
More
I
like
think,
chickens.
yeah, I think it's
Yeah.
interesting because I feel like I get the vibe from dinosaurs now that they're starting to look more and more like animals.
Mhm.
So I wonder.
Especially with the feathered and dinosaurs.
Yeah,
Well, because I think the dinosaurs, the way they're depicted now, they look scary as fuck. Like the just like because it looks as if our skin just had like nothing in between and it was just like super flat.
yeah.
You
Mhm.
know, is that accurate? Like,
Well, we'll continue this right after the break, folks. We'll be right back.
More information. What's up, friends? It's I and Friends. We're here at the Podcast Fit LA. It was so fun. We came every social media network except for OnlyFans. That's coming soon, so stay tuned. So follow us and follow TGN Podcast Fit. Have a good day, guys.
Are you trying to buy a home, car, or make other investments and being discriminated against because of your credit score? At Credit909.com, our professionals can help you remove judgments, student loans, child support, medical bills, and other erroneous and negative items on your credit report. Call 800-752-9763 today for a free credit analysis and consultation, or text credit to 909-688-5461.
It's back, Jax. Have you heard? It's back. Michael, what are you talking about? What's back? The Podcast Pit. It is returning Monday, May 23rd. Brand new venue. Oh my God, the Podcast Pit is back. Exciting. Where's it at? It's going to be at Jax's Daily at 7:30 p.m.
I know where that's at. That's at 11168 Washington Boulevard in Culver City.
So, Jax, will I see you there?
Oh, you know it, baby.
Yo, Jerry, what you sipping on? You already know, Mike. It's michelada time. Flavorful, handcrafted miche mix to top off with your favorite cerveza. It will have you saying, wow, baby, at every drink. Michelada time is freshly made in small batches, bringing you the perfect michelada every time. The streets are talking, Jerry. That michelada time is liquid gold. Where can I find it? Check out our website at www.micheladatime.com. That is MICH.
Welcome back, guys. Thanks for sticking with us during that short break. You were saying, bro, about the dinosaurs?
oh yeah, I was gonna say. Okay, so how accurate is like the way dinosaurs are depicted now? How accurate is that?
Uh, it's tough to say because like we really like, you know what I mean. What they look like is really lost to time.
Mm.
But sometimes in fossils they'll get like skin impressions. You know, like the skin impression will be like fossilized or like I think sometimes they'll even get like pigment of
Mhm.
what the color might have been. I
Mhm.
can't remember for sure because I think sometimes they'll have feathers that fossilized. So that's will be like, oh yeah, this confirms that some of them had
Mhm.
feathers. Um, how accurate it is, it's like
Pretty inaccurate?
it's getting more accurate. I wouldn't say pretty inaccurate, but like there's this phenomenon, right, where like if you look at the T-Rex in Jurassic Park, it's got its teeth out. It's kind of like bony. People say like that's inaccurate because it's like shrink wrapping, like just putting skin on bone, but they
Mhm.
likely had fat and
Mhm.
muscle and all these other things that we can't
Mhm.
even like.
Mhm.
So who knows? You know what I mean? So I'd say like more recent depictions, they include feathers, they add like fat, they add.
Mhm.
So I feel like lately they've been looking a little more. They're trying to get more realistic.
Mhm.
The science is always trying to get there.
Well, because
So
you know what was blowing my mind, how you were saying that like when you look at dinosaurs, right? You look at dinosaur bones, or you go to the museum and you look at what they
yeah,
look like. This is like apex, like prime, like what life on Earth would look like unchecked. Like if the asteroid and all this other like volcanic eruption, tectonic plates, if that had never happened, this is like the pinnacle of almost like predatory life. No, like the sharp razor teeth, like the fucking mountain animals, like these huge animals, like, and all of them had like some kind of like genetic weapon built into their bodies. You know, the little small one that had like its tail was like a,
Stegosaurus.
yeah, that was like a fucking axe. Like it blows my mind because then like now like it's almost like evolution, right?
You know what that's called? The little spike thing on their tail. It's called a thagomizer. And you know how they named it?
How?
I think it was in a comic book. Some guy like mentioned it, and he's like, oh, he just like called it that, like in the
Oh,
book.
really?
And I think scientists are like, ah, that's kind of funny. Like,
They're like, oh, I like it.
so it's like it's the official name now of what that is.
It's kind of wholesome.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, but like now, like humans, right now, it's our age, right? It was
Mhm.
the age of the dinosaurs, and then like it's the age of the humans now, we're mammals.
Yeah.
I think about how like it's kind of an evolution of just life itself, right? Like the life on Earth, because they were around for what's the estimated? How long were they around for? 700 million? Was it 700 million?
Let's see.
They
I'll
kept
look it up.
they kept putting it like
A
like
few
On
hundred
there?
million years.
yeah, a few 100 million years, right? And they were
Mhm.
along for so much longer than us. And like as far as we know, there's no traces of them. And there should be traces because in theory, our stuff, if we were to
So,
disappear off the planet,
dinosaurs existed for about 165 million years. Like,
165 million years.
yeah, that was
Okay.
their like.
Yeah, you see, a lot longer than we've been. We've been around
Like 2
humans.
million.
Yeah, human sapiens have not been around like even close to how long they've been around, and we've made so many developments. And I was gonna say, because if we were to disappear from the planet right now, let's say I don't know, an asteroid fucking hits, or like I don't know, we all just drop dead or disappear. A lot of our shit would still be around for millions of years because a lot of it doesn't decompose. I mean, that's why we have such a huge issue pollution wise,
Yeah.
right? It blows my mind that like life before was just about like who's the biggest, meanest like killer, like who can kill and eat the most. Like so spend all that energy like becoming a big dino, having razor sharp teeth.
Yeah.
And then but then an asteroid hit. And guess what? It isn't advantageous to be a big guy anymore. You get the little small guys who like crawl into the
Yeah.
deepest crevices. They were the guys who lived.
Mhm.
And then like it's as if life knew, like, okay, like we were around for millions of years and we didn't get anywhere. So instead of trying to become big, let's put everything into like the brain, right? And then boom, like in the span of humans being around, like human civilization being around like 15,000 years,
I get what
like
you're saying.
we've evolved so much, and I wonder. It seems sometimes as though even our age is kind of coming to an end. I mean, they talk about in the museum, right? The biggest mass extinction is going on right now, right?
I think so. Yeah.
The biggest mass extinction is going on
right?
currently right now.
Let me check that.
Which is what? Like
It's I talked about it before. Is they think the next mass extinction is people. It's called a Holocene extinction. And it's extinction directly correlated to people. So like all the species that you can credit people existing going extinct is like astronomically high. But yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it seems sometimes like our age is kind of coming, and if we're using evidence of like life that's been on Earth since the beginning of time, since the Earth's been around, it seems as though the life after us will have to adapt where we faulted, and that could mean a lot of things. It could mean like maybe we weren't as emotionally attached to like I don't know, like planets. Maybe we were too territorial. Yeah, maybe there were so many things, you know.
Yeah.
Whatever comes next has to like be an evolution of what we were, the same way we're an evolution of life in terms of dinos coming to mammals.
I just thought it was cool being in the museum and seeing dinosaurs, right? They got
Yeah,
wiped out by asteroids. And like that very week, it's Tesla or NASA released a video of us deflecting an asteroid. I think that's really like poetic, interesting, and like just really interesting to think
Yeah.
about that like life evolved to now be able to deflect that.
Hmm.
It's
Also, that's what that was. I was trying to figure
Yeah.
out what you guys sent me, and I was like,
no, yeah, it's a really cool video. It's like it's a small it's a small asteroid. It's
Mhm.
more of a test to test how much like effect it because we could use this to be like, okay, if there's a bigger one, this is what we'll need, so we'll be ready.
Yeah.
And it successfully worked. Like they crashed into it, but they won't know I think until next year, right?
Yeah.
To
it's
see
taking a
by how
while.
much it'll like affect
Miss
it.
us.
Yeah.
So far, all we saw is that when we crashed into the asteroid, because the asteroid was on a trajectory to hit us,
Yeah.
but it was a small one, so
Yeah, yeah.
and it's no worry. But what so far what we've seen is that it caused like a huge debris like shitstorm in space. You heard? I sent it to you,
It's
right?
like
It's
6
like six-
miles long.
yeah.
Yeah.
6,000
Yeah.
miles long
6,000.
of just debris, which
Yeah.
is insane. 6,000 miles, holy shit!
Have you ever seen that like diagram of what like I think something like the size of an inch does to like the space station? And it's like this giant crater in like 6-inch steel. It's like huge and like it was
Damn.
caused by this one little thing because of how unbelievably fast it travels in space.
Holy
Yeah.
shit, dude.
You never seen that? Yeah, I think
Yeah,
it's
no, I've never seen
interesting.
that one.
But
No.
yeah, I mean, I don't know.
No, yeah, I mean you're right that it's like poetic, right?
Mhm.
You see, like evolution,
Yeah, yeah.
evolution. Well, this is obviously what you like pseudoscience. I'm just saying,
It's
Mhm.
more like it's
Speculating.
not really like a science thing. It's just more
Yeah.
fun to think
Yeah,
about. you
yeah,
know?
because right, because if
It's interesting.
life is always evolving, bro. Because I kept laughing to myself in the museum because I kept thinking of Jurassic Park, the quote of like life finds a way.
Mhm.
But it does.
Yeah.
You saw all these extinctions.
Bro,
You see,
You see why that's my favorite movie?
You
Brandon
told me-
loves Jurassic Park, bro.
he told me that he watches that movie at least like, and even if it's background noise, once a week.
Yeah,
Really?
I have it recorded on my TV. Like it just always hits. Like and it's my comfort movie too.
That's
I'm
cool.
always like
I always like
Jurassic
the
Park.
music from it.
It's good.
It's just really
music.
good music.
It's a good movie. It's like it's really good music. It's great writing. Yeah, the CGI still kind of holds up.
Mhm.
So you only like the first one?
I don't only like the first one. I mean, I kind of only like the first one.
It's okay
I
to
like
say you
I
only
like the other
that one.
ones more for the dinosaurs.
Mm.
That was what I watched them for.
Have you seen the last one that just recently
No,
came
I
out?
hear it's really bad. And also, like, as a kid, my favorite dinosaur was the T-Rex.
Mhm.
I was like, this is Jordan.
And they don't have it?
No,
This
the-
is Jordan.
they mistreat the character. They nerfed him. He's
Oh,
like,
really?
yeah. I don't. There's like
Is he smaller or what?
to nerd out a little bit.
You know what?
there's like in Jurassic Park 3, there's like they have like a fight between like the T-Rex and this other dinosaur called the Spinosaurus. And
Mhm.
it's like obviously it's in the show like the third Jurassic Park, it's even bigger and badder because now we have a new,
Yeah, yeah.
And so the T-Rex gets killed. And I remember as a kid that made me like so mad that like I would there's like videos like cheesy videos on in the internet on YouTube that would be like the rematch that never happened, and it'd be like a shitty animation of them refighting.
Bruh.
So no, yeah, because when we were at the museum, this guy like would never stop saying like, bro, like the Jordan, like the best of the fucking dinos is T-Rex. I feel like I still I get you, like it's cool, but what do you mean, like because you said that there's predators even bigger than a dinosaur.
Well,
no?
there's
T-Rex?
there's other. So T-Rex is like a branch of dinosaur called theropods.
Mhm.
Those are big meeting. If you ever seen Dinosaur Train on PBS,
you
know what I'm saying.
Check it out, you guys. Check it out.
No, yeah, it's
What
like
the fuck?
you never
I've
watched,
never even heard
you never
of
watched
it,
Dinosaur
no?
Train as a kid, bro.
I've never even heard of
Anyways.
it.
Anyways,
My bad. I'm not
uh,
cool enough.
it's like it's a theropod. They're big meat-eating dinosaurs, and they have 3 toes. Whatever. That's
Yeah.
the classification of them. So there's bigger ones in terms of like size or length, but like the abilities that T-Rex has, I think have always been like really fascinating. I think the Biforce is like unbelievably strong. Like it's the biggest, it's the strongest Biforce of any land mammal ever in all of time. I think that's pretty cool. Its teeth, right? They're like the size of bananas. You could see them. They had them at the museum.
Yeah.
And they're like physical bananas. They're like
Mhm.
12 inches long.
Yeah.
And they're very like they're blunt. They're round because it bit so hard that the teeth had to be like basically just like a fist almost, like so that
Yeah.
it wouldn't explode under the pressure and they could actually bite through bone. Like imagine
Damn.
going out that way, like just some animal just one shots you with one bite,
Damn.
and it's like,
Wait, so how does that make sense?
what do you mean? What does that make sense?
You said that their bite force was so big that their teeth would explode.
No, I'm being like if they I'm being, like so. Here, I'll give you a demonstration. So like, where's my pocket knife?
I was like, is he gonna take out his knife?
So we're gonna get taken down.
Are we? All right. Well, I'll show you on the side down.
Okay, let me see.
So if you see like a knife, right? It's like it's very pointy,
Mhm.
yeah.
and if you were to push down really hard, it would break.
Okay.
It would break.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
T-Rex would push down so hard that evolutionary wise, it would basically starve to death because of if it actually had sharp teeth, because it would break its teeth all the time from the bite
Uh-huh,
force.
uh-huh.
So they had to be blunt like this end because it can withstand more pressure.
Damn.
That's what I'm
So,
saying.
oh, okay, I get what you mean. So it literally crushes like whatever it got in its mouth, right? It didn't technically like stab it with its teeth, right?
It would it would bite so hard it was a crushing bite, you know.
Bro, you see, this is why I was having an existential crisis like at the museum, because I kept thinking about like that's crazy because that's an animal from millions of years ago.
Mhm.
Like it's not like it was like even hundreds, thousands. Like
It's a very
it
long
was
time.
basically a fucking different planet, you
Mhm.
know? I don't know. It's blowing my mind. It was almost too much. I had to sit down.
Well, I but like to throw it back to people, right? I was watching this thing the other day about how like the Egyptian Empire lasted 3,000 years. 3,000 years is a long time, for people, because the United States is what 250.
Yeah.
That's nothing. And they were talking about how like they had people in Egypt, in ancient Egypt, like studying ancient Egypt in Egypt.
So like, damn.
That's right, and I
Yeah.
think that's really interesting that like a civilization got.
You get
that
what he means,
far.
Julie?
No, say that again.
So like, there's people in ancient Egypt that would study ancient Egypt because Egypt was so old
Okay.
already, you know. So
Mhm.
like, I don't
Now
know.
imagine like, for example, like you and me, the three of us right now, to start the Primos Chidos country, right? And it goes on for as long as the United States has been on, right?
Mhm.
So we have our own history. We have our own. We in our schools we teach our own history. Now times that by like what 1,000, 3,000.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like there's people in there who are trying to find out our own mysteries because we've had a kingdom for so long. We've had
Yeah.
the Primos Chidos country for so long. So that's how old the Egyptians were.
Yeah.
That's why they saw aliens. Cause I'm just kidding. That's what people say.
Because that's how they did. They built like the pyramids and everything. No?
We
'Cause
talk
it's
about it
crazy.
a lot, but like, it is pretty interesting. But what do you think about when people say that like
Have you seen
it's
the
racist?
paintings?
What do you think about people who say it's racist?
I understand that it's racist. I feel like it is a little racist
To say what?
aliens helped the Egyptians build the pyramids.
Mhm.
I feel like it's a little like
that's
white
valid?
supremacist. Like what, bro? Like these
They
people
couldn't-
can't build
yeah.
a fucking pyramid just because
Mhm.
you guys can't figure it
Just
out.
because white people couldn't do it.
You know, it's a little white supremacist
yeah.
to say that shit. But I find it more fascinating when they show like the hieroglyphics and they show like these. The famous one is the one where it's like the giants and they're like talking to the people,
Mhm.
and then another one where it's like these tubes where people theorize that it's like aliens and it was like what their heads look like. There's a few.
I haven't seen it.
There's a few Egyptian hieroglyphics that people say like point to and say this shows proof that they actually interacted with aliens. I saw, oh my god, I saved it and I never showed any of you guys. There's this, I really don't think this is true, but there was this fucking quote unquote scientist saying that like back in the day, humans were actually really smart, a lot smarter than they are now. And that they were actually in cahoots with the Galactic Federation. That back in the day, the humanity was accepted as a fellow member of the universe.
Mhm.
That they all the time humans. So there was two types of aliens. They were the aliens with the big heads, the one that are all famous,
Mhm.
and then there were the reptiles. And the Galactic Federation told both of the aliens, hey, you guys can't hang around here anymore. You guys need to leave. You guys gotta leave these guys alone because they're not ready yet. And that the aliens, the ones we see with the big heads, they are like, all right, fine, we'll dip. But the reptiles, they're like, no, we're not gonna leave because we're from here. And so it's the whole like it's this video of this scientist saying he's like
It's
what does that make you think
Yeah.
that they said that? What do you think that means? Does that mean like there's the hollow earth? Like
Oh.
you know, he's like alluding to these
Mhm,
things.
mhm.
And I'm like, bro, like all that effort just so you won't say that like dark skinned people like made the pyramids,
Yeah.
right?
You know,
Like
what I
it's
mean?
a lot more plausible that the reptiles and aliens were here in the Galactic Federation helping us make these fucking pyramids.
You know what?
right?
What
Uh-huh.
concept I always
I
thought
get
was
that.
cool was the thing. Yeah, you know how the aliens have been there for like a million years because they've
Oh,
been
yeah.
frozen in the ice. That's always interesting to me. Is that like because when you go to the museum and you see dinosaurs, right? You think about how long it's been. Like I was telling Steve about how like the Stegosaurus and the T-Rex, they're always depicted together in media. It's a known fact. It's always all over the internet.
Mhm.
But in reality, those two dinosaurs were further apart than we are from the T-Rex. That's like a really long time.
Mhm.
So like I don't know, you're
They
like
never saw each other. Or?
yeah, they like the T-Rex is further from the Stegosaurus than we are from the T-Rex. Is
Interesting.
what I'm saying. But like it's a long time and it's like man, there's only been one civilization that's like gotten smart.
But that's I know it.
No,
That's
what I'm
scary.
saying-
No, but that's the existential dread that I was feeling too. Of like you when you were like, this isn't even like all. You literally said this to me as I was. I remember I had my arms crossed, looking at the T-Rex, and I was
Mhm.
kind of like just being mind blown. And he goes up to me, he's like, "Bro, this like this isn't anywhere near the amount of bones that like have ever existed." Because you said right, you explained to me fossils, right? Like
Yeah,
it's an
fossils-
extremely rare process.
Fossils is a
Mhm.
really rare and really like difficult process
Mhm.
to occur. Like I think some biomes, like the rainforest. The rainforest is one of the biggest biomes on Earth right now. So many animals, there's so much biodiversity. But I think it's like next to impossible for anything to fossilize in that biome. So like
Interesting.
And then that biome is arguably one of the most interesting like places you can find all like this diversity
Yeah.
of animals, right?
Mhm.
So like when he said that, it made me think about like, bro, for all we know, there was something even crazier out there,
Mhm.
crazy that would blow like the T-Rex out of the water.
well, even that, I mean, even that, think about animals that don't have bones. Like megalodon, like everybody knows megalodon, right? The big giant shark that's
Yeah.
like 50 feet. Um, Sharks don't have bones. They really only find teeth and I think maybe some jaw stuff, but the rest of the body, who knows what it really look like? Because there's no
Crazy.
there's no bones.
That's crazy, bro.
You know what I mean? There's no so stuff like that or like the ocean. We can't necessarily. It's really hard to go to the bottom of the ocean.
Yeah.
Who knows what maybe you know what I mean?
What
Yeah.
beast lies there?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Godzilla?
was once there. You know?
Yeah. I always think it's interesting how like we go to space, but like not the water, into the ocean.
I think it's like actually harder to go to the bottom of the ocean than it is to go to space. Like I think it's just because the pressure of like the
Mhm.
ocean is just so
Yeah.
like
Immense.
yeah. That's crazy. But yeah, like I don't know. You guys think there was ever another civilization that was smart?
I like to think.
Cause like if you think about it, like I
Well,
don't even
well-
mean like that smart. I don't even mean like another
Yeah, I
civilization.
get
What
what
if
you
it
mean.
was just like really like local? Like
Well,
they
I mean,
stayed
if you
in-
look at, I don't know if you guys saw that there was the area where it showed the skulls of like how they like the evolution of them,
Mhm.
and it kind of tells you like how kind of like the brain started developing.
Mm,
Yeah.
And I thought that was interesting too,
Yeah.
because I was like, so basically, like it was just like we eventually were like, this is what we eat, this is what we get, and the nutrients started like helping our brain kind of like develop from there.
No, yeah,
So I don't know.
some people I think some people say that's why we're the only primates that can swim is because we got our big brains from the fish because we eat fish. People
Damn, really?
because yeah, I think we're the only primates that can swim. I don't no other primate can swim.
So
Like,
apes? Like
great
apes?
great apes. Like I don't think they can, like chimpanzees can't swim. Like,
Really?
yeah, like I
They're too
don't
denser or what?
they sink and they don't I think
Oh, they don't like. I
they
get
sink
you.
because they don't have any like fat like we do. Like they just sink. And I
Mhm.
think I don't know if Joe Rogan was right when he said this, but I don't think they understand they don't have the capability to like not breathe underwater. Like I don't think they hold their breath. They just
Mhm.
try to breathe water.
Mhm.
So like they just instantly drown.
Oh,
So I
get
think,
you. It makes sense because I mean, on the shape of their nose, they don't like us. Like our holes are at the bottom of our nose, and their holes are kind of like on top. You
like
get
wide
me?
open.
Yeah, it's like
Mhm.
wide open, so it makes sense that they don't know how to breathe underwater.
Yeah. So like there's that. There's the stoned ape theory everybody talks about, right? Where it's like we ate psychedelics and that's what really helped our brain.
Mm.
What do you think about that?
But I feel like because I always feel like an animal could have randomly also just started eating it or something.
But maybe we were the first, or
I
maybe
think
our
it's
brains were
just-
big enough to kind of understand.
I think there's
Understand?
a lot of things that
Yeah.
really help people. Like we're social. We can learn, so we can learn from others, so we can build upon knowledge. Knowledge doesn't die with us.
Mhm.
Uh, we have hands that like can help us. We can take advantage because there's other animals that have big brains and stuff, but
Mhm.
like, you know what I mean? I just think a lot has to kind of go
But
right.
why us, man? Like, I don't even mean that as like, why me? You know, like. But that's what all I keep thinking about is that we were at the museum looking at these bones, but all these people looking around it. Look who built this, who built this building and put these bones here, and like is paying is taking money for you to come in, and it's like it's not that much money. I fuck with the museum. Go to the museum.
Yeah.
But like you know they're monetizing
yeah.
it. There's so many layers to it that all center around humanity,
Mhm.
and I think about like why us like the probability. I mean, we took one of our biggest like reels that ever did was the one the probability of being
Being
born.
born.
Yeah, but just the probability of being a fucking human, dude. Like to go from dinos with their little small pea brain. Did you see that where they have their theorized little brain?
Mhm.
It's like what the size of like your palm.
I think the T-Rex brain's about. I think it's about the size of us, our brain, but to scaled up to their big size. It's like, you know.
Yeah,
Mm,
if they
mhm.
were our size, it'd be the size of like your eyeball. You know.
I think it's interesting to see like how nature fills its niches like that. You know what I mean? Like you know, like this is
Oh,
this is
everyone does their part in a way.
yeah, like yeah, basically that.
How
Crazy,
everyone does
bro.
their part.
Yeah, I don't know.
Crazy. But we're also just destroying each other now.
That's
don't
why
know.
something's gonna take over after. I think it's gonna be AI.
Do you guys think people? Do you guys think
AI?
people
I
are
think
gonna
so.
beat the odds? I feel like
Um,
people. I feel like people. What you know? What do you? I think it's interesting. Why do you think in a lot of like religious, spiritual, like what do you call it? Like thing, like
what setting?
stories.
Mhm.
There's
Yeah.
always like a story about like man getting punished by like even in that
Oh, why?
conspiracy,
Yeah, I get what you're
like even
saying.
that
Yeah,
conspiracy where it's like we got thrown out of the Garden of Eden.
Mhm.
We
we got
were
banned from the
punished.
Galactic Federation.
Yeah, we got punished for discovering fire. Like the gods were mad at us for this or
Oh,
that.
like even in Greek. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, what do you think that is?
Why do we always have stories of gods being mad at us? I think it's because being alive is almost like a curse, right? Like we're smart enough to understand that we're living and existing on a
Mhm.
planet where vast of nothingness, but we're like, so is it our responsibility to make sure life then spreads throughout the entire universe? And like we live so much like we live nothing compared to the like how old the universe is. Like it feels like a curse, right?
Well, that's why I'm always like,
It
I
has
don't
to be
know.
a punishment.
People are really special in the sense that, like, as far as we know, we're the only things that know we're things. You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
Mhm.
Like, that's
Yeah.
pretty trippy, man. It's pretty trippy.
Oh, you see, that's why you gotta hit up your museum, bro. Makes you think of stuff like this. I don't know. Maybe you think about this on the
Well, I
regular.
don't know. I feel like the museum is just very interesting
It is very
because it's
interesting.
also like it goes through like dinosaurs, right? But at
Mhm.
least something that I saw was seeing like the history of like LA and
Oh,
like how
yeah.
it kind of was like discovered in a way.
Mhm.
Um and just like how we've kind of like evolved in that and like because I don't know if you guys saw the area where it was like all it had like all the old things, what they used to have,
Mhm.
how everything kind of was designed. Um so it's just interesting, like, because I mean, for me, like, yeah, we had school, right? But it's different when you actually get to see like these things and these products that came from centuries ago, you know? So I don't know. I think it's a cool
No, yeah, it's
museum.
cool.
One day they'll have a section that's the time we're living in now.
It's
Yeah.
true. Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was interesting to see that there's a description that says that like a lot of the first people who were here were obviously the Mexican Americans, like
Mhm.
people who just mixed Spaniards and Mexicans and then moved here, and then like the native people here mixed with those people, and then
Yeah.
like it's cool because it like obviously I always talk about it all the time how we're like from indigenous descent,
Mhm.
and I like that spiritual connection that all three of us have with the land. Like
Yeah.
it makes LA feel really like home. Like to
Mhm.
me, it's not just about like me growing up here. It's about like my ancestors having been here for
Yeah.
like a long time.
Yeah, it was cool seeing the videos of like those who were like native and they were like talking about like where they were from or like who they were from and all that stuff and like kind of how the name kind of happened, like where it came
Oh
from and all that
yeah.
stuff. I thought that was cool, like learning that because I mean I had never really heard about like the kind of all that, and then I always kept thinking of like how you used to say the religious thing, right, of it is like we learn, at least for us, like we grew up Catholic and all this, but there is that thing of like they were trying to make them be more like us, right? What is it? We said it last time. Is it
Manifest Destiny?
Manifest Destiny?
Uh,
Where it's kind of like that was kind of their goal,
It's
which
God's
like
will.
yeah, and it was like they had their own religion, they had their own thing, and it was kind of like taken away from them.
it was
Um,
erased.
What would you guys do if aliens were like that? Like, let's say aliens come down and they have like a religion and they force it on us.
Whoa.
Like-
That's sad.
Well, I mean,
They're
it's
so
what-
smart they
it's
can
what we
travel
did.
planets and they still believe in religion.
Well, maybe it's
Oh,
a
that's true.
different
That is
thing.
what Spaniards did,
It's like
though.
a different thing.
They were smart enough to leave the old world to the new world, and they still spread
Well, because
religion.
yeah, an alien religion. What if it's like it's dimensions? It's like, oh, there's 10 dimensions, and if you're not,
If you're not praising God in
yeah,
the eighth dimension, you're gonna go to like their version of hell. And it's
Yeah.
like we're the devil.
That'd be
Whoa. I'm like, oh, dude,
What?
like is life just inherently
Well,
religious?
we're going off air on the app. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you're listening on there, we're gonna continue a little bit on YouTube, but see you next week.
Dude, look, Patty with
Yeah.
a fatty said, now imagine the museums in Mexico.
Bro, what do you guys think about relating to
I wanna
Mexico?
go.
Is that
Well,
who is it? Amsterdam has
Oh yeah, have you seen that? No, it's not Amsterdam. It's fucking
Hung-
wait, is it Amsterdam?
Austria?
one?
Austria?
You know what he's talking about? He's the
You know Moctezuma's headdress? Like
the famous like feathered
the
gold,
father,
like
it's
big.
Moctezuma's headdress
No, I
from
don't think it-
Mexico. Well, either way, that's what it is.
Mhm.
And I think it's like Austria has it in their museum.
Oh, it is Austria. I
And
think.
Mexico like repeatedly like is always asking for it back, but they're like, nah.
Yeah, they're like, nah. You've never heard of this? It's like the famous like indigenous like headpiece of the of the.
Why
like,
do they have it?
Well, when they invaded, they just.
But I think that their excuse for not giving it back is they say it's too fragile for
Oh, yeah.
For travel?
For
Yeah.
travel.
Oh.
Yeah.
But like Mexico's always like, bro,
Like give
it
us back. Yeah, they have a
back."
replica at their museum.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, they have a huge like replica, and yeah, I think it probably got just like sold to them in the when the Spaniards came and stole everything.
Mhm.
You know, it's just one of those things. But a lot of countries have that.
Yeah.
Where like I think France is the biggest like what should I say, offender?
Yeah.
France is
they
the-
do that
yeah.
a lot. They
They
have
have a lot of things that don't belong to them
Really?
in their museums. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, that's what I've heard is like a big controversy in Europe. Because in Europe they're actually kind of trying to make amends.
Mhm.
So they're kind of like, hey, yo, France, like can you guys give those shit back? And they're
Mhm.
like,
No.
but it is art, you know, like 'cause you know, because they're very
Yeah.
they're very like that. So they're
Yeah.
the biggest offenders of there. We're like, we will not give this shit back. It is ours now. It's
Yeah.
part of this part. The reason it's here is part of why it's cool because it's history, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's sad though. Like the headpiece, I'm sad about it.
is pretty sad
I'm
'cause
like,
it's like,
bro, give it back.
But that's
literally-
ours.
That's yeah, like
My
like-
great. That's
That's-
that was
yeah.
his.
The-
Yeah.
yeah.
Do you
Oh
think
my God.
they're lying about that it's not, or do you think they're telling the truth that like it can't travel?
I don't know.
I feel like if they really wanted to, they could. Like, come on. I feel like they got whales into SeaWorld. I feel like they can get right.
Mhm.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's probably just really expensive, so they don't have the money for it.
Do you guys know? You know how there's La Virgen de Guadalupe, and then there's the big church that's in Mexico, and you
Yeah.
know how there's the design.
Is that the one that does
Isn't
miracles?
don't they say that that's real or that's not real?
What are you talking
Like
about?
the image that she's on in the church.
Oh,
Have
you
you seen
mean
it?
like the are you
What do
'cause you know
mean-
how
but
the
what do you
story is
mean by
like-
real, like
Like
that
that it
Don-
actually appeared. Like
on the rag, like
Yeah.
on the sheet that
have you guys heard about it or no?
it's I know the one about Jesus, the one where he's still on the
No, the one with Juan Diego.
Yeah,
Oh,
I know what you're talking about, Julie. Yeah,
Because I
The-
feel like I
the-
remember. Because I
she-
feel like
they
I
have it.
Because I feel like I remember seeing
Pull it up.
like a kind of like a documentary about it where it was kind of like they were talking about how it's weird how like it's on the print but it's like it's not painted on or it's like not this, like it's actually like from
Oh,
the
rea-
fabric
really?
or something like that. I don't know if that's true. Now I'm kind of like
That's
is that real?
interesting. I know you've seen that one though, right? The Jesus one that the Vatican supposedly has.
The one with his face when he
The one,
cleaned-
no, the one that's his where they put over his dead body.
I think I've seen like displays of it. I don't think I've ever seen a picture of it.
It's probably.
I wonder.
Is it real?
I'm good.
Uh,
Oh.
All right. Well, I think that's probably our cue, right?
yeah.
Guys, we gotta go. But next week we're gonna have a guest. I hope you guys tune in. It should be a really good one. Hope you guys are having a good spooktober,
A spooktacular.
Cocktober.
A spooktacular.
He was mad about
Cocktober.
that. Remember?
Yeah.
I was mad about that.
All right.
Remember,
Well,
y'all?
we'll
Remember,
see you
y'all,
guys.
Support.
Support Brown Media.
Yes. We'll see y'all next time. Make sure y'all follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Primos Chidos Radio Show. And we'll see y'all next week.
Bye.
Have a great weekend, y'all. Be safe. Stay safe. Bye.